Have you ever listened to traditional Turkish music and just felt there's something deeper going on? It's beautiful for sure, but there's this intricate structure underneath, almost like a secret code. Well, today we're going to crack that code together. So let's dive right in. What is it that gives this music its incredible, unique soul? The answer is hiding in a set of rules composers have used for centuries. But hold on, these aren't limitations. Think of them less as rules and more as a powerful, expressive grammar, a language for telling breathtaking musical stories.
And that secret language, it really boils down to two master keys that unlock everything. On one side, you have Usul, that's the rhythmic heartbeat of the music. And on the other, you have Makam, which gives the music its melodic color, its mood. They're a team. So let's unlock the first one, Usul.
We're going to start with Usul, the very foundation, the pulse of the music. And trust me, this is way more fascinating than just a simple repeating beat. It's a whole world of cycles and patterns that gives the music its amazing drive.
So, the key thing to get here is that an usul isn't your simple 1, 2, 3, 4. Not at all. It's a recurring, complex cycle of strong and weak beats. It's almost like a rhythmic sentence that repeats itself, forming the entire backbone of the piece. It feels both totally grounded and constantly in motion. Now, what's really wild is how these huge, intricate rhythms are built from just two fundamental blocks. According to the Arl Ezgi Uzdilek theory, it all starts with a simple 2-beat pattern called Nim Sofyan and a 3-beat pattern, Semai. You put those together in different combinations, and you can create almost any other rhythm you can imagine, like the 5-beat cycle you see here. It's like musical DNA.
And if you thought that was cool, it gets even more brilliant. Composers do this thing called usul nesting, where a smaller, faster rhythm can actually play out inside the framework of a much larger, slower one. Seriously, picture a set of rhythmic Russian dolls with cycles spinning inside other cycles. It creates this incredibly rich and complex texture.
Okay, let's move on to our second key, Makam. Because if Usul is the heartbeat, Makam is definitely the soul. It's not just about what notes you play, but the incredible journey you take with them. This is probably the best way to think about it. You know how a Western scale is kind of like a ladder of notes? You just go up, you go down. Well, a makam is way more like a plot map for a story. It tells the musician exactly where the journey begins, which important melodic landmarks to visit along the way, and where the story has to end.
And this shows you those landmarks on the map perfectly. Every makam has these characteristic melodic phrases called cheshni. Think of them as unique flavors. It also has a dominant tone, the güçlü, which is sort of a point of tension, a temporary resting spot. And finally, you have the karar, the final note where the entire melody comes home to rest.
You know, Hüseyin Selahattin Erel, one of the founders of modern Turkish music theory, he put it perfectly. He said it's all about the relationships between the notes. It's not just a random collection of pitches. It's how they relate to that home base and that dominant tension point that gives each makam its unique emotional character, whether it's joy, sorrow, or something majestic.
Okay, so we have our two keys. Usul for the rhythm, Makam for the melody. Now you might be thinking, well, does that mean composers are just locked in? One rhythm, one melody for the whole song? Well, this is where the real magic happens.
So are they trapped by these rules? Let's find out, shall we?
The answer is a huge, resounding no. The true genius lies in knowing how to move gracefully between them.
And this art of shifting has a name. It's called modulation, or keçişik in Turkish. This is how composers create surprise and take the listener on an unexpected journey, painting new emotional landscapes right in the middle of a piece. So, how do they do it?
Well, for the rhythm, a composer won't just abruptly switch from one usul to another. Instead, they find a small rhythmic pattern, they call it an usul cell, that both of the rhythmic cycles have in common. This little shared piece acts like a perfect, almost invisible bridge, guiding you from one rhythmic world into the next, so smoothly you just feel the energy change.
And you guessed it, the exact same logic applies to the melody. To get from one makam to another, the composer uses a shared melodic phrase, a common cheshni, or flavor, that belongs to both of those melodic maps. It's this beautiful, elegant sleight of hand that connects two completely different emotional worlds, maybe shifting from a feeling of deep longing to one of pure celebration.
So, let's step back for a second. What's the big picture here? We've talked about rhythmic cycles and these incredible melodic journeys. Let's put all the pieces together. We've seen that this secret code of Usul and Makam, it's not a prison, it's not about boxing creativity in.
Now, it's the complete opposite. It's a rich, flexible language. The rules give you the grammar and the vocabulary, but from there, the composer is totally free to write breathtaking, infinite poetry. In fact, it's the structure that makes the freedom so powerful.
So the big question is, now that you know a little bit of the language, will you hear the music differently? Next time you listen, try to hear past the surface. Listen for that repeating cycle of the Usul, and try to follow the emotional journey of the Makam. You might just start to hear that secret language being spoken.